Hey guys, I'm Duncan Wilson.
And I'm Sasha Syed, and you're listening to the Mortgage Sweet Spot Podcast, proudly presented to you by Mortgage Suite.
This podcast is your go-to source for expert insights, innovative strategies, and the latest mortgage trends to help you make the most informed decision regarding your mortgage financing. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned real estate investor, or maybe somewhere in between, you've come to the right spot.
So sit back, relax, and get ready to discover your mortgage sweet spot.
So today, guys, welcome to Mortgage Sweet Spot Podcast. We already did the introduction, so y'all don't need notes here, is what this says. But Maddie obviously gives us our beautiful write-up as to what we need to talk about today. And today, we are discussing becoming a mortgage agent. Yeah, and then moving to be an agent level 2.
Yep.
And then finally, kind of like becoming a Jedi, I would call it. It's like, yeah. It's kind of like you become a mortgage broker. So at first you're a youngling, then you become a Padawan, and then you become a Jedi Knight. And that's basically the process we're going to go through. And we won't relate any more to Star Wars on this, but that's basically the process. So you come in this industry, and we're going to talk today about the changes in the industry. This is kind of a podcast for like anybody that goes to an agent to get a mortgage, which is most people, and obviously new agents coming in the market. And this is for people, I would say, that are like, do I do mortgages? What's it like to do mortgages? And I'm going to use a lot of references that I use already on a daily basis, but Sasha knows this one. There ain't no such thing as a halfway crook.
Yeah.
Just as much as that, there ain't no such thing as a halfway broker or a halfway agent.
Dollar bill,
What we're going to go through today is kind of the licensing process in Ontario, okay? Because it does change. It differs from province to province, but they're kind of all becoming more similar with their processes. As of right now, who licenses new agents? Their name is FSRA, okay? And that's a Financial Securities Regulatory Authority. They changed from a commission about 2 years ago. And I just want to point it out. I like what they're doing. I like the changes that were put in place. I like the educational requirements. I used to be at the bank, and when you started at the bank, you had to do mortgage courses. Now, don't get me wrong. They were like cookie cutter. Like we're talking like, you know what I mean? Like a mortgage is spelled MORT.
Match name on paycheck to driver's license.
Stuff like that. But so for instance, in the licensing process now with FSRA, what they're trying to enact is more education, continual education, and honestly looking out for the borrower suitability. So for instance, when you do get licensed, if you're already licensed right now with a different brokerage, and let's say you want to transfer to a different brokerage, that usually takes 1 to 2 days to transfer. It's pretty easy. You've already got your license. But when you're a brand new person and you just finished that course with MPC or Remick or Simba, not Mufasa's son, just Simba. It's actually called CIMBA. Basically, those 3 institutions hand out the course, and it's government. Government comes down to them, and they're the proctor of the course itself. So when you pass this course, you have like a minimum of 2 years to find a brokerage to land at. Now, you have never been with a brokerage before, so get ready for a 30-day ride, meaning it usually takes, I would say, anywhere from 20, 30 days to actually finalize the registration. Guys, this used to take 3 days max. Nowadays, it's 30 full days. It's a lot of scrutiny. There's background checks now, so make sure you have a police check. And if you don't answer questions properly on the application with FSRA, yeah, you're in for a ride, because they'll slow down your application or they'll ask more and more questions. Usually that application is sponsored by the brokerage you join. So an agent with a certificate, hey, I passed my course. I got my mortgage agent course certificate. I'm going to bring that to the brokerage, and the brokerage is going to say, yeah, let's go through your resume. What's your experience? And in my experience, I'll be like, man, I fund $180 million a year. I'm a great salesman. This is what I do. And then they're going to ask, well, what do you know about suitability? And I'm like, nothing. I just like handing out money. Well, that's going to be an issue to the brokerage.
Wait a minute, man.
Yeah.
When I came in for my interview,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Duncan, my name's Sasha. Sean told me to come here and meet with you. I met with him on Friday. And then for 45 minutes, you just talked. And then I was like, at one point, I was like, I speak French fluently. Remember when you were talking about New Brunswick? And you're like, oh, you're a guy in New Brunswick, man. And I left here so pumped up, though. But yeah, it was the greatest interview I ever had.
I'm just going to let you know, second language qualifications were high on my list. Okay, it's superseded. Yeah, it's superseded a lot. So over the last year since Sasha came on, though, we've enacted a lot more scrutiny.
Yep.
Sasha, you got through the wire, man. You did good, though. But this guy in the interview was wicked. There is other agents that come on our team where we sit down with them and they're just not a good fit. And we do have two beautiful guests today because they're brand new agents. They're going to come in, talk about what it's like to start off, kind of what Mortgage Suite does to kind of help. What I noticed from when I began as a mortgage agent back in the day, it was a lot of unknowns. There wasn't a lot of internet access to figure out what the process is. Fisco, who was the commission, they didn't write down processes and things. There was newsletters, but it was more like, this is what we're doing in the market. FISRA now, and it's beautiful. Their website's amazing. It has so much information on it where a new agent can go and say, hey, is this right? Am I doing this right? What's the process? Yeah. They are very communicative with new agents in the market, brokers like myself, and agent level twos. So guys, back in the day, there was one thing you needed. Oh, sorry, two things. A phone and a laptop. And this laptop accessed literally the submission tool. All you needed was a phone. Hey, Mr. Borrower, do you want to come in? And there was no virtual meetings. We want to come in, we'll do an application on my computer. That was it. Now I'm going to tell you right now with the advancement and the CRMs that are coming out, customer relationship managers, you could end up using 3 to 4 systems to do mortgages, and not just 3 to 4 systems. Now you have beautiful social media. Okay. Like I wake up every morning and talking about Mufasa, I'm like, time to check my social media.
Oh my gosh.
And I would just say, no, it stuck with me. That is literally what I do every morning. So you're checking LinkedIn for a client, and no joke, this borrower comes on there and the borrower's like, hey, I noticed your profile. You still do mortgages? Yet it says I'm a mortgage broker in there, still currently working as a mortgage broker. That's LinkedIn. I gotta love it. Then Facebook, then Instagram. So there's all these other places people will go to check. And there's websites. So just know that Sasha's still laughing his butt off here. So just know that when you do move in, you're going to be on a hockey stick learning curve. And when I say hockey stick, you know nothing. You've passed the course. Passing a course is like the minimum requirement. It's like, okay, you know how to read. You understand loan to values. You get the calculations involved. You understand suitability. You understand the 5 C's of lending. Okay, 5 C's, and I forget capital, credit, capacity. All those 5 C's. Character. Thanks, buddy. You would know them all. But how do you apply that stuff? How do you apply it to a loan? And that's what a brokerage is going to teach you. That's what getting a deal in is going to teach you. Now, here's the biggest issue that I find in the market. Back in the day, guys, there was this best saying ever in sales, and it was fake it till you make it. Okay, it was one of the.
I'm still trying to make it.
Yeah,
which means I'm still faking it.
You fake it so good, you're almost making it, man.
I know, man. Yeah, I am pretty good at faking it.
But here's the issue with that. You no longer, like, if you're an individual agent and you don't have a mentor in this industry, you're literally going out there faking it, and the borrowers know. They can research it right away. They can find out better answers. I actually know my stuff, and I still have other borrowers that go on and research and find out and trying to argue the answer with me, even though I've just done what I'm trying to tell them that I'm trying to do. So I get argued with on facts and fake news all the time. But I'm not really, fake news. Yeah. So the news is faking it, but I've made it. You understand what I'm trying to say? You understand the wrap around here? Okay. But regardless, if you're faking it till you make it in this industry, you will fizzle out. The other thing talking about it, I'm going to come back to this, is there is no such thing as a halfway agent. Okay. If you are a full-time somewhere, your goal, and I would tell you for our brokerage, if you want to join ours, okay, we're not opposed to you joining ours, but if you do want to, we want you quitting your job eventually. And we've helped probably 5 to 6 people quit their full-time jobs and come in and start doing this. Now, how does that work? It's becoming an apprentice, guys. You need someone to actually teach you. And I'm sorry, no Jedi Knight ever became a Jedi Knight. Like, honestly, Luke Skywalker had Ben Kenobi. Okay. Yeah. All right. So as a mortgage agent, you need to go out and look for your Ben Kenobi. All right. I know I got to move on. Okay.
Talk a lot, man.
I'm sorry. So
there's so many things I wanted to say, but time's gone now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wanted to get into your heads, guys. It's not an easy industry.
Yeah.
If you're coming into this and you're brand new, you will need to train under someone that knows and has the knowledge, or at least can find that knowledge quick. Back in the day when I first began, I didn't know anything. Underwriters used to teach me how to do deals. Underwriters.
Yeah.
You get them on the phone.
They still do. Like, honestly. So I just want to touch on what you said about, like having a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, because, and then also here, like, what to look for in a brokerage. So here at our place, and I'm not just talking this up because we're so awesome, but, we do work in a team dynamic here, which for me anyways, has helped a lot. A little bit about my experience. Like I drove cab for 17 years and then came here after COVID, and I met, Sean, my manager, and that guy trained me up like so good for the first 2 years. Like, and it was really hands-on, and I'm not an easy person. I'm pretty difficult, man, you know, to deal with as a person. So, and Sean was just so great.
He's good.
Instead of giving up, well, I'm good now, but instead of giving up though, like he actually changed his training style from how he trained Lister to be able to train me. And it's done so good. And honestly, like, dude, I went to Western high school. You know, I grew up in the cab stand, not really any other education. I went to school for police foundations, but you know, like I'm not the smartest guy in the bunch, but Sean has turned me into a machine, man. Like,
I love it.
But, and another thing too, about skills coming into this business, like I didn't know anything. And let me tell you, I'm not a math guy. I find most people are either math or English. I had 100% in English, but 50% in math. And I only got passed through because the teacher liked me. But this guy taught me a lot about this, and I was really intimidated coming into it. But, you know, and you said to me before that if you have the personality, all the software and everything, you can learn that.
Yeah.
So if you have a good personality, like do not be discouraged by the numbers or by the process. The process is like anything else. You can learn it. If you can follow a recipe to cook your dinner, you can eventually follow the recipe to get a mortgage closed. But dealing with the people is really the skill that you need here. So it is very imperative there. But when you're looking for a brokerage, you know, other than the pay structure and all that, your mentorship, I think, is probably the most important part of the whole thing. So I wanted to say that. So thanks for letting me talk for a minute here, bud.
Dollar bill, y'all. Agent talking about the newer process. This is literally what it's all about. So you have to understand, like, if you're going somewhere and you want to write a bunch of loans and the guy's not knowledgeable, or your mentor is brand new as well, it's not going to help you anything. It's not going to help anyone. It's going to probably leave your borrowers really upset because there's reasons to decline a file. But I find most newer agents don't know how to communicate that to the borrower in a nice way. So for instance, like, hey, Mr. Borrower, brand new agent. Hey, Mr. Borrower, you're declined. Oh, why you're declined? I have no idea. The lender just won't do it. Like, yeah, there's a difference between that and saying, well, because your TDS is out and your ratios are bad, and you have an M2 on your bureau. So these are things where people get taught these things. It's about 2 years to learn this industry, guys.
Yeah,
2 full years to actually get really good, get the weapons in your arsenal, get them ready to go. And then once you do that, you're full fledged. You can do whatever you need to do. And by that time, you're usually quitting your job. So what we'll do now, because I know we're running out of time, we're going to bring on our first newer agent, because he's going to talk to all you brand newbies that want to, listen to this podcast and find out. And maybe there's other brokers on here listening as well. But Pierson, come on up.
Pierson.
So I'll explain. Pierson, he's a quiet guy. He loves mortgage brokering, but we have specific questions to ask him. Okay.
So man, when you started here, we got you out of college and you came as an intern, and you tell us a little bit about your experience from going to school, coming here, and then when you and had the opportunity to continue or to move on. Talk a little bit about that experience.
Okay. So actually you came to visit us at St. Clair, and that was like my first introduction to mortgages. I didn't really have any idea where I wanted to go after. You can get your mutual funds license and stuff like that, but that was never something that interested me. But you really sold me that day you came in. I was like, man, I want to work for that guy.
Wasn't he like the Canadian Grant Cardone?
He was,
and so amped up in my interview.
Suit and everything, and I was kind of sold from there. And I got lucky that my internship happened to be with Mortgage Suite, and ever since then, it was like, I was excited to learn, and even interning, going through the systems and making calls, that was a big thing. And you helped me with that. So it goes back to having a mentor too, and being able to have somebody instill those skills in you. But you don't really learn until you start doing the job.
So on that note, like, so you went through the training. Did you do it through REMIC or through MPC? MPC. So I did mine through REMIC. And me personally, I found like the book stuff was not transitional to like real life stuff, other than learning
like
about GDS and TDS.
What was in the book,
like their scenarios and stuff. Like a lot of the terminology really helped, but like the scenarios, it was like, okay, I can read this. But what was your experience with the book stuff and then transitioning into the real life job?
I kind of almost, sounds bad, but forgot everything once I got into the real job, because
Don't worry, me too.
you kind of need to make the mistakes for them to stick with you, and you got to be able to reflect on them and learn from them. Of course, there was stuff in the course that you learned and you were able to implement into the real world, but you do kind of need to make those mistakes to learn.
I recognize from when you very first started, even when you just first came on with your license, all the way up till now, it's been almost a year now, right?
Yeah.
Like you've come a really long way. You're even like, you're chatting more and you're getting more into it. So
I truly, my opinion was in the beginning, you were even afraid of making those mistakes. And then I found that you got more easy because it just came back to me, and I'd be like, man, why'd you make that mistake? Let's do this, this, and this and fix it. But I feel like you're almost hesitant to do certain things because of uncertainty.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah, right. And so like that whole transition from when you started to now with the more confidence, like what do you think helped you get that confidence and grow and stuff?
Pretty much getting the reps in, like anything, making the calls, getting told no, making the mistakes. You can watch as much training as you want or read as many books as you want, but you do have to get the reps in to really learn.
What's your experience with your mentors in the office? So when you started, it used to be a one-on-one mentor, but I think when you started, it turned into more of a group dynamic.
Yeah.
Like we have zero competition in this office, and Duncan's made it very, very good that if your name is on a file or you have notes on a file, it's shared with that person. So there's no fighting in the office. When you came, it went from a one-on-one to more of a group dynamic, and you got deals for me, Dunk, Tyler, Sean, everybody. So talk about your experience with that and with the mentorship.
Yeah.
So I got to learn a bit of everything from everyone. Like everyone kind of has a different way of doing files and going about things. Like I first started doing files with you, and I learned a lot through there. And then I did a file with you, and you did a few things differently, but
actually, I just want to interject. You did your first file with me.
Sorry. Yeah. I did your first file with you. But yeah, that was the first one that was protocol.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I do that all the time.
Social insurance number. What would you say the biggest stress of this job is?
Well,
is it making the mistake that you said before earlier?
The mistakes, and another thing I will say is you will have periods where things are going well and you're getting commitments and you're getting deals done, but there will also be periods where things are going wrong and you may not have any deals for a while, and it can kind of get to your head, and you might, I'll be honest, there was times where I was like, maybe it's not for me, maybe I should quit. But I feel like with any endeavor, there's only two things you can do, which is either quit or keep going.
Keep going, baby.
And sayings coming out. It's like, no matter how many times, it's not how many times you fall down. It's how many times you get back up.
That is the truth, though. It is. That's what it's all about. So you will have periods where things aren't going well, and you might be having a hard time, a downtime.
You got to keep your head down.
It's all about keep going. And
so what are some things that you do to keep yourself motivated in those downtimes? What are some of your like special tactics or your personal tactics? I mean,
comes over to me and asks me what to do.
Yeah. You know what? Raw action, I think, is a big one. So whether it's making calls, forming new relationships, reaching out to any partners, or doing some sort of marketing, I think raw action solves everything.
Yes.
And of course, if there is no action, I'll ask Duncan for what to do. But
I got another one.
Action
does not always bring happiness, but without action, there is no happiness.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Okay, so I got you just these things. You're making me tinge off on them. I'm sorry.
I don't know what movie that is, or I'd make the reference.
Okay, so other than that, I would say we're going to probably bring Pierson back on in the future. But we appreciate you coming on and explaining new agents. And honestly, like, we'll bring you back on and see how your progression's going, and then get an update from you, and then you can tell kind of a future update of the new Pierson, I guess, the new model.
There's always learning to be done. So
heck yeah.
That's it,
all right, thanks a lot, Pierson.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, our next guest coming on here, brand new agent, but I won't say brand new to the industry here, guys. This is Ivan. And Ivan actually came from, so he used to do mortgages at the bank. And now he's going to talk about how different it is coming from the bank to the broker side. All right.
Yeah.
Ivan, come on up.
Ivan. Thank you. How's everyone doing today?
Good, buddy.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
All right. Well, first I want to start by saying, Pierson, amazing job, man. You don't say much in the office, but having to come in here and actually feel like I have to, hype myself up a little bit now.
Yeah, you got to follow that now,
after
bro.
that performance.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
follow that professionalism.
Are we allowed to swear on the podcast?
we are.
You
Okay,
fucking
thank
right
God.
we are. Why, like you got out of the bank for a little bit and then you decided to say, hey, I want to try mortgaging out. What made you, instead of go back to the bank, what made you want to come to the broker world?
Okay, good question. So my timeline with all of this, I have a lot of experience with banks and wealth management firms. I was a senior financial advisor. So my job was a little bit more to be a jack of all trades, to have that holistic advice. And really we would offset our mortgage applications to the specialist, which they would take over. So we didn't really have that much formal training when it came to the applications and stuff of that such. It was more so we looked for the opportunities. Once we found them, we'd give them to a mortgage specialist, and then they, it's like we send the alley-oop basically to those guys, and they get
Taking the
done from
opportunity
there.
for you to learn, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyways, okay, so coming in, you kind of knew how to identify opportunities for the mortgage itself. When you transitioned over here, what was it like? Like your license took a while.
Yeah, to get the license, I was actually licensed in, was it March? But to actually be recognized by FSRA, that wasn't until May.
Yeah.
So there was a huge disconnect there.
I don't think mine was that long. Mine was just a
No.
few weeks.
They're behind, man. They're checking a lot of stuff now. That's probably what it is, guys. But anyway, so yeah, you came in. Tell us how you first began. How did deals go? How you've already had your obviously upsetting mortgage declines or clients that cancel. How did it go with getting new deals? How did Mortgage Suite kind of, like, I'm assuming, and then obviously myself, I pass over some deals to get your feet wet and move you through the process. And then there's continual other deals as well that we all hand out as a team. But go ahead, talk about that.
So in my experience with this, I genuinely believe what you put in is what you will get out.
Yep.
You have to come into this industry. Nothing's handed to you. You have to get on the phone. You have to make those calls. As Pierson was saying before, you can't be scared of getting on the phone and hearing no. You're going to hear a million no's all the time. For the million no's, you might get one yes, and that's really all you need. It can be a little bit discouraging at first, just if you're not really new to it. Luckily, I have that experience where you don't get too discouraged or discredited when, you get some bad news. You kind of just got to pick yourself up, get back into it. And luckily we have some good mentors here that really help guide me and feel confident to where I'm at now. And yeah.
Good stuff. So what's the culture like, the difference between the bank and the brokerage, would you say, in your experience?
It's completely night and day, man. I think I think my first meeting with Duncan was actually at the bar.
Mine with Sean was at the bar.
Okay. Plus, we're also trying to pick up other service industry reps to be part of our team when we're doing that. Okay. That's what we do.
Oh, meetings and bars.
We have a bartender and a waitress that work here as well, full time, killing it.
Yeah.
Mortgages, man. Like, it's just the way it goes. So why not go to the bar where we can pick up future agents? Go ahead.
I personally love the culture here. I think it's a big shift from coming from one of the big corporations, just because everything there. I know me personally, I had one of the higher positions, so you kind of feel like, just let me work, let me do my thing, let me get into my swing of things. And I was bringing in lots of money for that place, and I was a big asset to them. But you still kind of feel like you're at a string. You're being choked a little bit and micromanaged, which is kind of like,
Yep.
And for me, that wasn't really my thing. So coming here, it's more so an open environment. Obviously, the guys that we work with here and some of the women, everyone's very welcoming, but everyone still is on their own agenda and getting shit done, which I really did like. If you had any questions that you needed, you never feel kind of embarrassed or scared to really go up to anyone in the office and ask questions, which is really a huge help. No matter how small or big the question is, there is someone always readily available to help you find the answer and the solution, which is nice. So the culture has been very welcoming. I love it. It's more of a suit for me and my personality, and the sky's the limit here.
It's almost like he left the empire and joined the rebellion. I'm just saying. That's what it sounds like. It's just, come on over, man. We're fighting those bad guys. All right. Every day. Okay. So, what is one piece of advice that you'd want to give to a new agent, maybe watching this?
You know what, man, if you feel like you're down and you don't really like where your situation is, I was in a situation a couple of months ago where I didn't know where my career was heading. I have all these credentials, I have all this experience, and I was like, I don't know, I don't want to end up at another bank. I worked in a wealth management firm for a little bit, and it's just like, I felt really down. And kind of not like this wasn't my calling.
Suffocating.
So suffocating. Yeah, perfect word. Suffocating. So for anyone thinking, not even just that already in the financial industry, so anyone that just is unhappy with their job and looking for an outlet, I went through this process. It's been amazing for me. I think honestly, just do your enhanced due diligence. Do take the time to read up on the content that's out there. Reach out to us. Honestly, if you have personal questions about, want to get a little bit more in depth, like we are here to not only help you with your mortgages, but, we're looking for, aspiring people to get into the industry to grow our team. So any advice I have is just read up on it. If you're motivated, you have entrepreneurship tendencies and you want to be able to expand and grow a business under your own name and with a team as well, then it's definitely an industry that I think that you can flourish in.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that point. Like, he makes a good point here. Like, research all teams, research every team lead that's in the city or wherever you're local to. Go around and research, because just as much as you want to be a mortgage agent in a brokerage, you have to be interviewing the brokerage itself too.
Yes.
Do you want to be part of that actual team? Do they do, the customer service not the best? There's so many, like I could keep going here and I don't want to get into that talking a bunch, but there's a lot of things that newer agents should look at, right? Yeah, we should.
There's a lot, right?
Like splits, what do you want to look at?
Trailer fees, bonus commissions, volume
there's
commissions.
So much. It's like an ADD's dream.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's why I love it. All right. That's why I love it. But there is a lot of factors, and you won't know everything about a brokerage before. And honestly, like, we have a process procedure manual that we try and update and keep up to date and everything. And every brokerage has to have one, but it's not just about the process, a procedure manual. It's about who else works there. And are you going to actually get taught? Like, are they going to bring you in and give you, I don't know any other team that gives out deals. We're the only ones that do that. But are you going to actually get taught and directed and how to ask the proper question, how to get better at the deal? Is your broker leader that brought you on, is he going to take care of a client that's pissed off with you as a brand new agent because maybe you screwed up the file? Because I'll tell you right now, as a broker leader, I have been blamed for everything, and I didn't even do it. It wasn't even me that did it. I just take the blame. At the end of the day, it's just what I do. It's like, hey, yeah, it was my fault.
You say that, like when I first started, you say that all the time.
Yeah,
just blame me.
Yeah, just blame me. Because at the end of the day, I need my newer agents that come on my team, and this is what you should look for. I want them to be perfect. These guys are brand new. They're just joining. They're just starting out. Why trip them up, make them fall on the ground?
Yeah.
I've gotten through all this. I've been a broker now for, I don't even know how many years, but I've been in this industry for almost 16 plus years. So I don't really care to get tripped up and fall down. But these newer agents that come in, I think they need a little bit more handling, a little bit more help to keep going. But yeah, so honestly, Ivan, anything else you want to mention at all?
Honestly, no. I think
he just wants to get back and do his deal.
No.
I don't want to get back to doing my deal.
I actually just got a pre-approval as I was sitting over there.
Yes.
But no, honestly, I've had a few people reach out to me and ask me, how do they get their feet wet in the industry, and that people that want to explore some other career options. So the biggest thing I could say is that if you do want to explore and get into this industry, you got to understand that it's going to be a grind. You have to come in done. You have to work your ass off. You're not just going to come into this industry and make $1 million off the bat. You know, I know you see us, we're wearing fancy suits over here and ties and everything. But you know, the reality is, you know, it's going to be a grind. If you want to work hard, you'll definitely be rewarded for it. If you want to come in just thinking that you're going to be making a bunch of money right off the bat, you know, might not be the right industry for you.
I got another one, because I mean, you can relate all of this to working out. So I want to get fit tomorrow, and tomorrow I'm going to go in and lift 400 on the I don't know, dumbbell press. Dumbbell press. 400 pounds, dumbbell press. Boom. I'm now injured. I've screwed up my chest. I can't work anymore. If you come in with the thought process, you're going to lift 400 pounds in one day and just make it, you're going to fall and be injured. And it's not a physical injured. In this one, it's a mental injury.
Yeah.
It hurts you mentally, because you're like, oh, why can't I achieve that 400 pound lift? Because, man, you got to start off with 20 pound lifts, man. You got to slowly build it up. And that's what mortgage agency is. And slowly build it up with knowledge. Get more knowledge, become agent level 2. Then even keep on going, become finally lifting 400 pounds on the dumbbell lift, whatever that is. If it's a workout, I don't know. But you're 400 pound lifting, and you're a mortgage broker, and you just take everybody else's blame, as we discussed. Yeah. So other than that, guys, Ivan, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. I think that's it, Mads. Are we good? Yes.
Maddie's been over there like manhandling the knobs because of the volume shifts. She is so great.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Go forth and mortgage.
Ladies and gentlemen borrowers, thanks for tuning in to the Mortgage Sweet Spot. If you have any suggestions for upcoming episodes or questions for our hosts, me and Sasha, throw them in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe to our channel on your preferred platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or you can check us out on YouTube. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.